I had to keep it a secret from that very tight ensemble, who I love so madly.
First of all, congratulations, you got your own show. That's so great. I mean, when did you actually learn that Agatha would actually get her own show?
It was the summer after WandaVision aired. And I was I was shooting Glass Onion, and I got the call, and I had to keep it a secret from that very tight ensemble, who I love so madly. And that was the difficult part. I think I told Leslie Odom Jr. He was the only person that I told. And to his credit, he kept it very under wraps. But I think that's when I learned, and that was so exciting.
I mean, it's so interesting because it also feels quite different to
Yeah.
WandaVision, to the character we
Yeah.
meet. So could you just tell in your own words, where do we meet Agatha again, and in what mind state is she in? Yeah.
We meet her, I think, a few years after the end of WandaVision. So she's still under the spell that the Scarlet Witch put her in. So she's still kind of trapped in this Agnes world. And at the beginning, she has no powers. She doesn't even know who she is, really. But things are starting to get punctured by this spell. Is starting to kind of fall apart. I think by the events that have happened to Wanda at that point. So in that, she's trying to figure out who she is. And I think that's why naturally a prestige detective drama is the way.
Yeah. I mean,
way in.
I think that's already in the trailer, so I can spoil it a little bit. There is like that sort of true crime scenario you start the season or the show
detective.
with. Yeah, and I really love that sort of setup. And I was wondering, I mean, what would be a scenario where you would be trapped in and you would absolutely hate it for the rest of your life?
I mean, I think Nosy Neighbor is pretty up there. I would start to scratch at the walls, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can imagine that, definitely.
Yeah.
True crime would be a better fit, I guess.
Absolutely, unless you got something to look for and something to do and something. I think that the Nosy Neighbor kind of, how is it not going to, drive you nuts? You can only have so much gossip.
Yeah.
In a small town.
Yeah, true that. And I love the first meeting with Aubrey, with you two. You guys have such a great chemistry together. And I know, of course, you guys go way back to Parks and Recreation, although you never actually shared a scene. Or is it true?
I mean, we might have been like ships in the night, but you're right. We never actually had like a one-on-one scene together.
Yeah.
No.
Did you guys stay in contact during that time? And how was it?
Of course,
to actually,
after Parks. Yeah. I love that cast so much. And the women, we've all stayed in touch. Like they're some of my best friends in the whole wide world. So it was like about time that Aubrey and I had something to do together. I admire her so much as a performer. And this was so different than anything we could have even anticipated. We didn't even really talk about it. It just that was kind of the texture that arose. So I love the fact that there's so much history there. But it's still mysterious.
Mm-hmm. I was wondering, what were your connection to comics in general? Like, did you read comics? Were you a comic fan?
Comics?
Yeah.
Not really. But I appreciate them now visually. My son is really into graphic novels, and my husband is too. And now to see the original Stan Lee, they're just incredible, the artists involved. So yeah, I read all of them when I got WandaVision. Our producer gave us any Marvel newbie. She gives a huge binder too, and every place your character is seen in any of the comics leading up to now. And so that was very exciting. What was hilarious was to see Agatha's costume change. Yeah. She's like an old lady in some, and then some she's got the bodysuit on with just a streak of gray. It's you can kind of tell the era we're in by how she's dressed.
Definitely. And what's so interesting about her is that she's able to just drop into any storyline, into any kind of comic scenario.
Yeah, she really, talk about a nosy neighbor.
Yeah, that's true. So is there any gang of Marvel misfits or any gang of Marvel characters that you would love to just jump as Agatha into it? And
I mean, I feel like putting this witch in any petri dish and seeing what happens would be so fun. butting against anybody. And also just a witch. You know, of course we have the Scarlet Witch. Yeah.
So since Deadpool and Wolverine, I think that Marvel Comics kind of evolved into a new phase of also what you can do with the comics, what you can do.
Yeah,
so what do you think about that evolution of how the Marvel universe evolved throughout the years and your part in it as well?
Yeah, the MCU really has like kind of, and that's all Kevin. I think he's like the Willy Wonka of our, I just love him and I love his brain and I love how playful he is. And so to allow even these things to happen, I think is so thrilling because it really is like pushing kind of on what Marvel had what we had seen in the cinematic universe. And so that's really thrilling to me. And I think you're completely right with Deadpool and Wolverine, that was again another swing somewhere else. So I think that is very exciting. I don't think they'll ever the fans will always know what they're in for, but I think that the package or the storytelling it comes in, I think that the fans are really willing to, WandaVision kind of showed that, are really willing to take chances like that, which I'm very thrilled about.
Yeah, and that's a great thing. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Pleasure meeting you.
Ich will, was mir gehört! Zeit, den Weg zu Ende zu gehen. Und wer zu nett ist, kommt als Letzter an.